Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode we're continuing the 3-year celebrations in August 2019, and this is a viewer suggestion that I cover the first 3 reviews that I ever did on the channel. So way back when, 3 years ago, I covered my first ever review, the Aberlour 10-year-old. Really dreadful video, really dreadful audio, terrible presentation style, but here's a little clip of that so you can see what I'm talking about. Hi everybody, welcome to the first episode of my new series of No Nonsense Whisky reviews. The sherry flavours from the sherry cask is immediate. It's very sweet, almost like a cake, like a Christmas cake or a fruit cake or something like that. Not harsh at all, very smooth. Okay, let's try the taste. Well, I think we can agree that that is a dreadful video. But if you want to see the whole thing, click at the link up here and you can go and check it out. It can actually do with a few views. It's been around for a little while now and it's just about hit 1,500 views. So if you want to go and check out the whole thing in full, it's pretty funny. I get a lot of things wrong, namely the pronunciation of this thing. I think I go through and say Aberlour a lot, Aberlour, when you really want to be saying Aberlour. And it also has made me realise that I've had this little microphone for about 3 years now, so I really need to invest in a new one. That will be coming shortly. Let's get into this whiskey and see if my tastes have changed over the last 3 years. If anything, if this has changed in the last 3 years. Let's see what we've got in the bottle, shall we? So, it's a classic Speyside / Highland malt. Now on the bottle it can be quite confusing because it does say Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, but it also says Speyside. Now that is a pretty obvious thing for most of the connoisseurs who will be watching this video already, but if you don't know the differences between those two, the Speyside is a region of itself, but it is within the Highland region in general. So technically, every Speyside whiskey is a Highland whiskey already, but the Speyside region is a region of itself because it's so densely populated with distilleries. We believe this is chill filtered and added colour, but they don't actually say on the label, and I can't really find much information about that online. So we can take a guess that it probably is. I mean, after 10 years, I severely doubt you're going to get that sort of colour, but who knows? I doubt they're using kind of first fill casks or anything like that, but you know. According to the Malt Whisky Yearbook 2019, one of my favourite whiskey books, you should definitely go and check that out if you haven't already. I've got a video on my other favourite whiskey books up here, I'll put that there. It's the 8th best-selling single malt Scotch whiskey in 2018. I'm not sure what beats it, but they say that this sold 3.6 million bottles in 2018 alone. That's absolutely massive. Mostly to France apparently, but who knows? It's all over the place. I can get this pretty much in any supermarket, online, and it's roughly 20 to 25 pounds. When it's on deal at 20 pounds, this really is a steal. Unfortunately, it's a 40%er, but I think we can forgive that. Let's get into the actual whiskey itself and see if it's changed, if I've changed, those sorts of things. Now this one's underneath coin 190, still available, so if you want this coin or any of the others, check out the description below. You can see how to get hold of those. So we talked a little bit about the colour, so we won't go into that in too much detail. One of the other things you'll notice about that video, if you did watch the little clip at the start, is I used to use a tumbler. Now I'm on the Glencairns. Now on the nose, straight away I get this kind of red apple, kind of appley orchard nose that I strongly associate with Speyside whiskies in general. No, not all of them have this, but if you spend enough time trying and tasting whiskey, you'll eventually kind of figure out that there's this kind of orchardy nose to Speysides. I don't know what causes that. I think it's just the kind of light characteristics that are usually overpowered by stronger flavours from other regions. For instance, Islay, you're not going to taste those apples because of all the peat. I also get a lot of cask vanillas from the kind of ex-bourbon casks in there, and some light sherry notes, light dried fruits from the sherry casks. This is a mixture of sherry and ex-bourbon casks. Again, not sure about the number of fills this has had. I imagine quite a few, but who cares? Let's get onto the palate. Okay, so it's a lot of sweet vanillas, maybe a touch of honey in there as well, and the kind of really light sherry notes are still there. Again, nothing overpowering at all. So if you're not really into your sherried whiskies, this might be your bag. Who knows? It all kind of leads into a really kind of short finish, I would say. Most of the big flavours are gone. There's a touch of sourness towards the end that I don't really like that much, but it's okay. I don't mind that. Now, all round, surprisingly enough, after 3 years, this is still an amazing value whiskey. Something we've been seeing over the last couple of years. Whiskey's getting more popular, so thank you to everyone who's watching this, because it's more and more of you every day. The value of whiskey is going up, and in this age of no age statement whiskies, which I don't have a problem with, especially if they're good. If they're rubbish, get them in the bin. But to see a good valued age statement Scotch that I can get anywhere and is still the same value as it was 3 years ago is pretty astounding, in my opinion. It won't set the world on fire. I don't recommend you try this if you're looking for the best whiskey in the world. This isn't that, but this is a perfectly good whiskey to get your friends into whiskey if they're interested. Very light, very easygoing, not overpowering in any way. If they don't like any kind of distilled spirits, then they're probably still going to find this quite strong tasting, but it'll be less strong than anything else that you can give them. For me, this is the ideal dram for kind of sitting around sipping, sharing with friends, very low cost. You could go through half a bottle of this with 4 or 5 friends and not even bat an eyelid at it. Pretty much perfect for that. Now, over the last 3 years, I've definitely developed a taste for the higher ABVs and the stronger peated flavours. When I first covered this, I didn't even like peated whiskey at all. So it's really nice to go back to. I haven't actually owned a bottle of this since that video 3 years ago. So it's been an eye-opener for me. Really happy that I'm still kind of enjoying stuff like this, and I haven't kind of gone to this upper echelon point where I can become a snob about these easy to drink entry-level ones. Still a very good whiskey, still happy to drink it. In fact, I've just had my birthday and I've got another bottle of this sitting downstairs waiting for me. Not a problem at all. That'll definitely get drunk in my house. And it's just a bit of a strange video, but